Hi everyone, Susie and Clark Neal here from the Ingles table with an amazing new recipe for you from Unicoi Preserves.
It's our pan-seared, oven-finished filet mignon topped with a blue cheese compound butter.
We've already been to Ingles and gathered these great ingredients, and now it's time to get started.
So first thing I'm gonna do is take these beautiful filet mignons I got from the meat counter at my local Ingles. They had these already pre-cut, but if you don't see any in the case, don't be afraid to ask. They're never too shy to cut you your own steak. I'm gonna season these with salt and pepper on all sides. It's gonna look like a lot of salt and pepper, but you realize you're seasoning the whole steak, so it's gonna make a nice crust on the outside. And while I'm doing that, Susie's gonna show you how to make the compound butter.
I like how you've put your salt and pepper in separate little bowls. If you visit us at ingles-markets.com, you'll see a quick tip about why Clark's got his salt and pepper out like that. I'm gonna make our compound butter. I'm gonna start with some Laura Lynn unsalted butter. Clark and I always buy the unsalted kind because that way we know how much salt is gonna be in our food. So since it's a blue cheese compound butter, I'm gonna put in our blue cheese into our butter. Got some chopped parsley. This is some minced garlic, a little bit of kosher salt. Now, all I'm doing is using a fork to combine these ingredients to make the compound butter. So I've got a little bit of wax paper here, and I'm going to roll up the butter and form it into a roll.
I'm gonna put about a tablespoon of canola oil in this pan, and it is smoking hot, y'all.
And that's what you want for a sear. I know it's kind of scary to crank up the heat all the way when you're cooking, but in this case, searing means super hot skillet. So look at that smoke. I think that's gonna be just right.
So these are gonna go right in the pan, press them down.
That's what I like to hear.
Set my timer for 3 minutes. We'll flip them and show you what they look like in just a second. All right, the timer just went off. I'm gonna flip these guys over.
That's a good crust there. That salt and pepper.
Again, I'm gonna push these down to make sure they get good contact. I moved them slightly in the pan also. Another 3 minutes, then they're going into the oven. So we checked the internal temperature of these steaks and they're right where we want them. Susie and I like our steaks between medium rare and medium. So I cooked these to right at 130 degrees. You're gonna get a little bit of carryover cooking with these. I always pull them 5 degrees below my target temperature just to let that carryover cook and bring it the rest of the way. If you pull it from the oven at the temperature you want to eat it at, by the time you put it on the plate and eat it, it's gonna be overdone.
So those look great. Got that compound butter that I made a little earlier.
You got my mouth watering.
So we are pan roasted some new potatoes and some rainbow carrots that we found at Ingles, as well as some radishes today. They are so pretty this spring. And I've got a little extra parsley.
Okay, we've got our steaks on our plate with the beautiful compound butter on top. I'm gonna tint them with a piece of aluminum foil. I'm not gonna crimp it down really hard. I'm just gonna kind of drape it over it. The reason I do that, I'm gonna let it sit for about 5 minutes before we serve it.
Help keep it warm.
That lets the juices redistribute throughout the meat. So when you cut into that steak, those beautiful juices don't just run all over your plate.
And that's it. I know you and your family are gonna love this wonderful treat.
I wanna thank you so much for joining us here at the Ingles table.
Make sure and enjoy the rest of the site for more great tips, tricks, and recipes. See you next time.